The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Look, Florida's a wacky state, right? We all know this, and while we have friends who live there, they have somehow maintained normalcy, at least with what we consider normal. But we all may need to take a road trip to Universal in Florida at the Universal Epic Universe. It's a new type of multi-world experience, whatever that means. But there is a section called Dark Universe that will present us with the famed Universal monsters. Not much is known as to how we the public, will interact with the Wolfman and his buddies, but I'm totally down with whatever they have in mind. Wouldn't you love to be immersed in the world of Dracula? I would. Apparently there's 5 worlds on which you can visit, like Super Nintendo World and Celestial Park, among others. A new hotel and some other stuff will be kicking around, so having this kind of fun sounds like it's for the wealthy. That figures, don't it? In any case, this place opens May 22nd of 2025, so what do you think? Anyone want to go? Raven Shadow's driving, and welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 638 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein. Also, the technical difficulties of the Lair of Lost Swag because he showed up.
Fuck?
Oh, you know. Oh, you want to know what the fuck? When you show up after we begin, you get the technical difficulties. All right, buddy?
Yeah.
Because you are so technologically inept, you have a guest account still on Skype, and I have to re-add your camera every single week. I don't need to do that for MZ.
Yeah. The Lair of Lost Marbles.
So
Okay.
what do you say there, huh?
Can I retort?
I'm giving you the floor. Retort.
All right. Thank you. I don't think you're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
Projecting.
You got mad
Sounded
at
like
me
you-
when you had technical difficulties. I'm explaining why.
I didn't get mad at you. I was doing a bit for the show, and I think you made it a little bit real.
Bit.
And I wasn't the one that was
Oh, look
sending
at that.
the thank you. Look at the ratings.
Yeah, they're plummeting.
Yeah, they're dropping.
Where'd the ratings go? We had them like. No, I think it's okay. I love you and I forgive you.
I'm not asking for your forgiveness.
You don't. You never need to.
I don't want it.
He's speaking for you.
So, Lair of
No,
Lost
I'm just-
Swag within the Raven Chateau, Casa Day -0. It's us. We're here. Episode 638. It is October and or Cocktober rather. Let's call a spade a spade.
Just call a dick a dick.
Yeah, let's call it dick a dick. It is Cocktober, and yeah, on this show this week tonight, whenever you're listening to this, we're going to be talking about the flick Hellboy, the Crooked Man. It is the latest cinematic adventure of everyone's favorite right hand of doom. So we'll be talking about Hellboy, the Crooked Man, and probably getting into some other trouble, or who knows. Our pal Stabby on screen says Cocktober, baby.
Oh shit! Cocktober's not till mañana, but it's today.
Cocktober's not till mañana. There you go.
Oh, that's a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Looks like we got Ghetto Tim hanging out. What's up, Ghetto Tim?
Oh, shit.
Hey, dude.
Love that fucking dude, man. So tonight we're talking about the latest Hellboy flick and whatever else comes up. So what's going on? What's up with you guys?
I voted today.
You did, huh?
Did you?
Yeah, I did the mail-in gimmick.
The mail-in gimmick.
Yeah.
Even voting's a gimmick now, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
it's a little bit Connie. The voting inside. Gonna be on Undertaker. Oh, sorry.
Let's see what else we got going on here. Is there any coffin corner? It's it's a local sort of celebrity, but Liz Wilde. If anyone was in the New England area and I don't know when she started, but late 80s, early into the 90s and into early 2000s, I think, was a disc jockey.
Yeah, she was up to the very end when AAF decided to go religious.
Yeah.
She was born in 71. How did what happened? Oh,
She had breast cancer.
breast cancer. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It's a shame.
And Liz Wilde was the cream cheese bitch, right?
I think she was, yeah.
Her name, that was her gimmick.
Not even here 10 minutes he used the word gimmick twice.
Yeah.
Well, how
Don't
many
use
times
the
have we
word
fucking
gimmick.
talked about your balls?
Don't use the word gimmick when we're referring to her, man. Give her some dignity.
Nevertheless, that was her catchphrase, was it not?
You know what? Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I found that there's another Liz Wilde. This Liz Wilde was born in 63, so she was a little older. She was 60. But
That makes more sense.
she was on WAAF. I don't know if it says how long she was, but trying to look. Yeah. I'll keep trying to look, but she was on for a long time.
Yeah, up to the very end.
Ghetto Tim says, go ahead.
No, go to Tim. Go to Tim.
Well, it's a different subject, so go ahead.
I was gonna say there was Liz Wilde and who was Mistress Carey.
Mm-hmm.
Mistress Carey.
Mistress Carey, yeah.
Came after her. Okay. That was the one where a mutual friend of ours peed on in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Really?
You were there. That's when you got lost driving from Hampton Beach.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Did it involve lobsters in some way?
A lobster zone.
Lobster zone. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Oh my God, I completely blanked out on that, and then you just unlocked a memory for me. Thanks.
Raven Joe, maybe you should be a fucking psychologist.
No,
I
Look at
am
you
psychotic.
piercing the pie of his fucking warped brain.
I am piercing Monster Zero's Christmas pie. But yeah, that was when a friend of ours, that their band sounds like Funnel Grill.
You could just say you can say
You
it
could
like
say-
yeah. What?
What?
Yeah.
Funnel Grill? Really?
Funnel
You can't even
Grill.
say the
Yeah,
name? Funnel Grill. Is that supposed to be like Final Girl?
That's Raven Chow's
Yes.
band, Funnel Grill.
Funnel Grill.
Funnel Grill.
Tunnel Drill. Say it. Tunnel Drill. That's the name of the band's
Tunnel
name.
Drill.
Yes,
We saw
there you
Tunnel
go.
Drill play.
Funnel Grill.
Well, you got fucking lost, motherfucker. So there. Hey, that was that. But
I was in New Hampshire, dude. How the hell was I supposed to find my way home? In fact, I didn't even make it back home until like 6:30 in the morning. I was like big time lost.
because you left Double D and I, because yes, you did.
No.
And we had to all pile in Smoking Ty's truck to drive home. 4 guys in a fucking 2-seat fucking truck. That was fun. But our mutual friend, lead singer of the band, came out. We were all standing around in a circle, all talking, and there was Mistress Carey at the time.
Like talking all raw.
We were totally talking raw, dude.
Maybe it was
The
Mistress
rawness.
Carey till the very end and not Liz Wilde. Now that you bring it up.
I'm
It must have
sorry?
been Mistress Carey. No, I'm thinking maybe it was Mistress Carey till the very end and not Liz Wilde.
Yes,
I think it was Mistress Carey. Yeah, it was. Okay.
It was.
My
And then
bad.
we're all talking, and then that lead singer did pee in front of the circle and peed all over Mistress Carey.
Yeah.
But with that said, I'm glad Liz Wilde wasn't peed on. But she was great. She was the hard rocker chick, man, the metal chick
Yeah.
on
Oh
I
yeah,
think afternoons, evenings.
yeah. You're right, MZ. She so she got moved to the daytime. It was sort of like the Wednesday Night Wars, like AAF and BCN were going head to head trying to get the ratings. And when they moved Liz Wilde to afternoon, they started actually competing. Yeah, it made them competitive. I don't know if they topped BCN at that time, but it says with her rating success in Boston, Liz Wilde moved to WLUP in Chicago, Illinois in March '95. So, and then
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's funny. I didn't know. I mean, that's like fucking 30 years ago now. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I just remember listening to her like it was like yesterday almost, you know?
Yeah, right.
Back on AAF.
Because she got name dropped. We had a local band in where I grew up called Furious Dance, and they had a song called Vernon. Oh, what's it? My name is Vernon D, I think. And they name drop Liz Wilde on that song, where he's like, "I'm driving down the highway, listen to the cream cheese bitch. She's talking about protection, but I don't believe in that shit because my name is Vernon."
Was that Furious Dance?
Furious Dance. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know them, right?
Yeah. I was pretty good friends with a couple of the guys actually.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the I forget his name. He had a brother. I don't know if it was Dan or Brian. I can't remember. I remember the brothers. I can't remember which was in that band though. But yeah, I guess she moved to Cleveland, and then I don't know. She's been all over. So, but yeah, it's a shame.
Sucks.
Yeah, I mean, we listened to her a lot when we were younger. So. Thankfully, I don't think there's too many others. Can you guys think of anything else for the Coffin Corner this week? It'd be nice to have a break from the Coffin Corner for a while.
Yeah, people stop dying, huh? Do us a favor.
Seriously. Oh, but I think Tim was going to say something.
Yep. He says, get on the new Street Trash trailer. Brother Ryan will not disappoint. This is going to be wet t-shirt night in Cape Town.
Oh.
MZ sent the Street Trash trailer earlier in our chat and checked it out, and it looks fucking amazing.
It does look good.
Yeah, Ryan Kruger.
It does look good.
Who did the film Fried Barry.
Yeah.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, Ryan Kruger, he posted up something on his Facebook page, and I'm like, they look filthy. Yeah, it was a picture of a bunch of crack addicts. And I'm like, they look filthy. I love it. And he gave a like to it, and also the guy who played Fried Barry also liked it. So
oh, nice.
like, hey,
yeah,
nice.
I caught him in the trailer for Street Trash.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah,
it looks bonkers. Like it seems like it has the spirit of Street Trash, like where it's going to be like a sleazy movie, but this feels like it's like kind of like I hesitate to use the word elevated because I know that has certain connotations around horror, but it feels like an elevated version of it where it might actually have like something to say about this day and age or that we're living in. So yeah, no, it looks really good. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, according to Kruger, he says that it's not a remake. So I mean, you got the van with the Viper logo on it. You got what derelicts spewing out pink, blue, purple, and green goo out of themselves and shit. So, I mean, of course, there's more to it than just that. But I mean, that's enough to make me believe that if someone was to say that to me, I'd say that's Street Trash.
Yeah.
So, and the title also matches. So, but I'm not disparaging it in any way. Believe me, I'm looking forward to this. Fried Barry, which we reviewed last year, was it?
Might have been 2 years ago now, 3 years ago even.
A
3 years ago.
while
Okay,
ago,
yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, because I wasn't here for 22, and I don't remember. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Wow,
It was
time
2020.
flies.
Yeah, it came out in 2020. So we might have
Wow.
that might have been the festival run. So we either did in 2020 or 2021.
It had to have been 2021. But either way, that time flies. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I when he announced that he was going to be taking on Street Trash, I'm like, I was, of course, met with skepticism.
Well, I know how you
this.
feel
I'm
about
like,
that film. Yeah.
I love Street Trash,
I know.
and because it's such a good movie. It's so great, and Jim Muro, who directed it, of course, he won't say shit about it, pretty much, because he found God, okay, and he's renounced himself. Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Oh, boy.
So he found God, and he's one of the leading Steadicam operators in Hollywood.
Huh.
He's
That's
like
funny.
he's like legit. He worked on Titanic, for Christ's sake. Okay, so he's like one of the leading Steadicam operators in Hollywood, which blows my mind when you think about where he came from. It's great for him. I'm sorry about the whole God thing, but
Sorry about the God thing.
what are you gonna do? But
He's actually
anyway,
he's actually a cinematographer.
oh, the cinematographer.
Well,
I saw
at least his most
Steadicam operator.
His most recent credits are cinematography, so maybe he transitioned.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's got 21 credits as a cinematographer and 73 as camera and electrical department. So he must have transitioned into doing DP and cinematography. But
yeah, hey, good for him though. Good for him.
He did Rush Hour 3. He was the DP of that. Also Crash, the
Soderbergh joint.
Oh no! I'm sorry. It was the Paul Haggis film, not the Cronenberg.
Oh,
yeah, different Crash.
Yeah.
But yeah, he probably wouldn't have done Crash if he was a Born Again.
Yeah. No, there's no way he would have done that. Yeah. But when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, Fried Barry was interesting.
sure.
It didn't knock my socks off, but it was interesting.
And it had a lot of like Street Trash vibe to it.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the poster, it's got like, it has like sort of like that neon green. I think if I'm not mistaken, if I remember, it's got like a neon green logo where it says Fried Barry.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
You may be right on that, sir. And okay, fine. So we've seen the trailer. The trailer does look bonkers. It looks really, really good. Very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you realize the drab ambiance that's in the film. Then you get hit with these huge Technicolor splashes hitting you right in the face. It's a visually appealing so far. Now I don't know. I want to like maybe keep this unknown.
Keep it between us. You hate to lose your teaching job.
Is if Mike Lackey and
John, his brother John Lackey.
No, Mike Lackey and James Lorenz.
Oh yeah.
Are going to have cameos. I hope they have cameos, especially James Lorenz. His comic timing in that film is one of the all-time greatest.
Oh yeah.
He is hysterically funny in that movie.
Yep.
James
Lorenz.
I really hope.
We hung out with James at Scaricon.
We did.
Yeah, we hosted a panel with him and got to hang out with him a little bit. Nice guy. A little crazy, but nice guy.
Did. Yeah, very nice guy.
Crazy in the right ways.
Well, it helps. Yes, it helps. And Yeah, yeah. To it, I'm sure we'll be reviewing it. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
not be surprised if we. I'd be surprised if we don't. Definitely have to review this. Let's see. It's coming at let's see, tonight and tomorrow. It's coming. It's out now in the theater at Quentin Tarantino's theater.
Yeah, the Beverly, I think.
Yeah, it's also playing tonight. Yeah, playing tonight and tomorrow at the Quentin Tarantino theater in out in Beverly. So people are seeing it now for the first time, and I'm anxious to hear the early reviews on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And we'll see now. Now, is Terrifier the #1 movie in America yet, or do we? Need
Yeah, no, it was. It
Yes, it
was.
is.
Yeah, and this
yeah,
past weekend it was. Yep.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, raked in $18 million, and it dethroned the Joker sequel, which dropped 81%.
Well, to be fair, I think the Joker dethroned the Joker, from what I've been hearing.
Well, actually, that's not too far from the truth, only because David Howard Thornton, the guy who plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier films, he wants to play the Joker in some upcoming project.
That'd be fucking dope. He played the Grinch before.
Yeah, that's true.
Did he?
Yeah, it was a Mean One.
Yeah,
that film, Mean One.
Play, I think on Play.
No,
Mean One. Yeah.
You're a Mean One. Okay.
Well, I think it was just called Mean One.
I haven't seen that yet.
I still want
to see it.
It was the Mean One. Yeah, he played the Grinch in that.
I still want to see it.
Yep.
But that's crazy though. So this is the first time a not rated movie became #1 horror movie.
You know what? That's a good question.
Well, it would be #1, not even horror. It'd be #1 movie in America. Like, it's unrated,
not rated.
So let me see. I'll look it up and see if that's true. I can't imagine there's too many others that would have even had an opportunity to be #1.
At least not since the 80s, probably.
I don't think so, because I think Deadpool and Wolverine was the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. So I think Terrifier would have to be unrated, because it went from X, right, to NC-17, but unrated.
So
I don't know.
Probably since the 80s.
So what I'm looking at an article in Hollywood Reporter, and it says, for decades, most cinemas refused to play a movie that was unrated. Terrifier 3, however, was too tempting to pass up. So it says, in a history-making move, the uber gruesome indie slasher pick Terrifier 3 took out a Hollywood institution in one fell swoop, the movie rating system. Filmmaker Damien Leone's threequel stunned the town when opening to $18.9 million over the October 11 through 13th weekend, despite being unrated. Before the pandemic, few movie theaters would book a title that didn't have a rating because of strict limits on TV advertising, among other things. But times have changed, and Terrifier 3 was able to secure a berth in over 2,500 cinemas. That's fucking crazy. And now it is well on its way to becoming the top-grossing unrated film of all time domestically, against a minuscule budget of $2 million and barely any marketing spend on the part of Chris McGurk's Cineverse Corp., which released the movie. So it goes on. It says it's also the second unrated film to open #1 after Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, debuted to $21.8 million in early December 2023.
Okay.
Was that a film, or I wonder if it was a film or a live concert?
A concert movie. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Because
why would a concert be unrated?
Have you ever been to a Beyonce show?
Well, it would be unrated because it wasn't technically a movie.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a fucking loophole, though.
It is.
Yeah, that's a loophole.
Okay, so Beyonce's, it was a concert film. So yes, I would say that doesn't count. So
I would agree.
In that case, Terrifier 3 is the first #1 unrated film in the history of cinema. That's fucking crazy.
And you know what's even crazy is that it's the third one. It's not even
right.
And I don't know if it's
Right.
because it had to build up its reputation for
It did, yeah.
that to happen. Which is, it's obviously that's what happened. But I mean, it's not like they had to build up. It's not like they just came out of the blue. Now, if they came out of the blue with this and just said, and this happened, that'd be even more spectacular. But you know what? This is good enough as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And we'll be. Go ahead, Ray Michelle. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I would say that this speaks a lot to, once again, the only thing that Hollywood cares about, the only color they care about is green.
Yep.
And the only people they care about is the ones filling the seats. So to take it back to the street trash conversation, like I would think hardcore horror may get a big push in theaters just to try to get even a little bit of the rub.
Yeah.
Terrifier.
I will not disagree with that. I think this whole thing with Terrifier 3 right now is what you say. It's a resurgence. And because we haven't seen anything like this remotely close to this since the 70s or the 80s, when unrated horror would make it into theaters, but they would never even think of taking the number one spot. This is going to start opening up some eyes. As a matter of fact, it already has. This has opened up some eyes because Terrifier 4 has already been greenlit.
Oh, sure.
That's already been set, so that's going to get a theatrical run as well.
Yeah,
and
because
probably
of how
with a much bigger budget.
Yeah, I did see. I think I actually shared this with you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up actually, because I'd like to read it word for word. But the lawyer who sort of the I guess the legal counsel for the film talked about how they were offered like deals from from some of the bigger companies, but they would have had to give up the rights to the franchise, to the character, whatever, things like that. And they were like, "Yep, no, we're not going to do that." And obviously it turned out pretty good.
Damien Leone was on Talk is Jericho 2 weeks ago, talking about how they threw a lot of money and the studio wanted to do a reboot of it where it didn't build on anything before, and they were like, no, we want to do this, and they kept the budget low, and talked about how a lot of money in a film's budget also includes the promotional dollars.
Yeah.
So maybe a movie costs $100 million to make, but now it's a $200 million movie because of the additional $100 million in marketing dollars. But these guys seem to be keeping it real and doing their thing. And there are folks that criticize it's called Damien Leone's Terrifier, but this dude is fucking keeping it real with his character. And I think, oddly enough, that also ties into the Mike Mignola conversation later on today about having your character on in film. But no, I think it's a great time to be a hardcore horror fan, and if this movie does money, you're going to see a lot of hardcore shit
did
make
money.
some money.
So
now I'm interested to see what they do in this second week.
So
I'm interested in what they're doing now. That's the big test.
And also one thing I noticed is that there was a spike. I saw that there was a spike in I can't remember what the name of the film is. There's a children's film out. They had like an abnormal spike in sales because it's assumed that younger kids were buying tickets to that and then sneaking into Terrifier 3.
That's awesome. Good for you.
It
Good
actually probably would, if they could have got in, it probably would have made more money technically. Let me read. This is from Larry Zerner. He's a legal counsel, I think, for Damien Leone or for the movie. It says, William Goldman famously said about Hollywood that nobody knows anything, and that is certainly true about Terrifier 3. Every studio and major distributor was offered the chance to acquire the rights. Most didn't bother. The few that did offered an embarrassingly low amount of money, far less than the movie grossed just in Thursday night previews. And for that sum, they wanted Damien to sell them all rights to the franchise so they would control the sequels. But Damien and Phil knew they had something special. We had all been to horror conventions and seen the fan base growing. We saw the lines get longer and longer for cast autographs, especially David's, and saw the fans coming to cons dressed up as Art the Clown or Sienna or wearing Terrifier merchandise. We knew that the horror community had embraced Art as a new horror icon and believed that the fans would come out for a new movie. Damien recognized what no one at any of the studios did, that Art was ready to take over the world, and he was right. We've all heard stories about horror creators who sold their rights for a relatively tiny sum and then had to step aside while the studios earned millions off their creations, and they earned a pittance. Damien and Phil were determined that would not happen to them. They took the bet that their talent would win out, and as a result, they not only have the #1 movie in the U.S., but they own and control all the rights to the Terrifier franchise. This is not just an artistic success story, but one of the great movie success stories of recent years. And it couldn't have happened to nicer people. Kudos to Damien, Phil, Lauren, David Howard Thornton, and the rest of the immensely talented T3 cast and crew. I'm so happy they let me play a small part in contributing to the film's success. So that's from the lawyer, copyright, trademark, and entertainment attorney, Larry Zerner.
Well, you know what? First of all, let me just cover this part. You know who Larry Zerner is, don't you? Because no? Larry Zerner. Wow, you guys don't know. Oh, okay, this is going to be fun. Larry Zerner played Shelley in Friday the 13th Part 3. He's the one who had Jason's mask.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who brought in Jason's mask.
Really?
His hockey mask. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
shit. That's Larry Zerner. Yeah, he played Shelley.
Larry Zerner.
Yeah, the big fat guy with the big ass afro. Yep,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy. That's Larry
What's the
Zerner.
chair?
He don't look like that now, but
And it's the same Larry Zerner?
it's the same Larry Zerner. He's a lawyer. He's a Hollywood lawyer now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same guy.
I think Chuck became a Hollywood lawyer too.
I think he did. I think you're right.
He did, yeah, he did. I'm looking at the cast for Terrifier 3, and there's a couple of cameos. I won't say, but there's a couple of
friend of the show cameos.
Good cameos.
Yeah.
Friend of the show?
Well, fans, people that we're fans of on the show.
Okay, well, I don't know if they're fans of the show then.
But we're fans of them.
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
We want them to be friends of us.
But it sounds like they're going by the way of George Lucas, where he kept all the rights and the properties and the merchandising.
Merchandising.
And that all goes in merchandising. The search for more money. And it looks like Damien Leone and cast and crew, they're going to be making out like bandits. They're going to be raking in so much fucking cash. It's ridiculous. Oh, good for them. I'm so happy. I'm thrilled to hear this.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Great. I'm looking at Larry Zerner's IMDb. Sure enough, yep. He was let's see. He's been in so he was in Friday the 13th Part 3. That was the first thing he was in. He was in the TV series Fame. He was, and then he didn't do anything from 1986 to 2013, and he was uncredited in Knights of Badassdom.
Okay,
which
is funny, yeah. And then looks
I've
like
never seen that. I've heard it's good.
It's fun, yeah. I did see it. It's pretty fun. And then he was like bit parts in a few films like Death House, All the Creatures Were Stirring, Never Hike Alone 2. So yeah, he did some bit parts here and there, but yeah, now he's like you said, he's mostly just doing legal stuff now, which that's fucking awesome. He would know, right? Like he would know about that, not just because he's a lawyer, but because he's done horror since the 80s.
Right.
So yeah, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Let's see. Stabby on screen, our pal says, approaching the highest box office in history for an unrated film. Honestly, I feel like this is already tops because I feel like that Beyonce concert film shouldn't count.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
And Ghetto Tim says, "Yep, it's like Cannibal Holocaust at the multiplexes." Stabby
I'm
on
eager to watch it. I want to see it so bad.
Stabby on screen says he was in a touring musical as well. I think that was David Howard Thornton, because we were talking about him being on a stage production. And then Ghetto Tim said, "But if he's not smart, Damien could paint himself into a corner by just dropping money shots like T3 does." Our pal says Terrifier 3 just set the table to make Shazam a reality. I don't know about that.
Oh, shit. Damien Leone's Shazam. If only we knew somebody that probably had his phone number. Oh, shit.
Stabby on screen says, "You guys didn't know about Larry? Oh, shit. He's a legendary attorney and must follow on Twitter. He broke down the entire Sean Cunningham versus Victor Miller case in detail. And he said he was also on the set of the music video, too. Sweet guy." That was the music video that the
Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah, the Ice Nine Kills song for Terrifier 3 that our pal Anthony was in. Evil Corny says Lords of Badassdom is fun. And Stabby on screen, our pal says the Fuzz on the Lens producers released Stream on digital this week too. Great guys from Staten Island. They also did that little Halloween parade H60.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, but we are going to talk. We will definitely do Terrifier 3. We've done the first two, so it's just a matter of when it pops onto VOD. We'll definitely be doing it. So I don't want to talk too much more about it. I will say, like I feel like I have a really weird relationship with these films because I don't really like them very much. The first one I did not like very much. Second one I think was an improvement, but 2.5 hours was a little bit much for me or almost anybody to endure. And this one's like 2 hours, I think. So thankfully it's shorter. Yep. But from what I'm hearing, it has a lot of what made 2 good, but it also kind of ups the ante. So it could be a step in the right direction. And, I'll kind of reserve a little bit more of what I have to say about it for when we do it. But regardless of what I feel about the movie or the series or the character, it's a huge win for horror. And that's all that matters. Yeah. We don't have to like it. We can still applaud it.
The importance to the genre is huge. And this is coming from a guy who's probably the least horror guy on the show, but this is a major fucking coup for this character. And I think it's truly the best addition to the slasher pantheon in years. We've seen a lot of attempts at it, but this, right, wrong, or indifferent, Art the Clown, I feel it should be Art the Mime. Just me. I feel it should be Art the Mime, but Art the Clown has to be in the conversation of Freddy, Leatherface, Jason, Myers, Chucky. If Ghostface is in the conversation, then Art the Clown is definitely in the conversation.
Well, the last icon that we've had.
Icon, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably. I can't say it's Victor Crowley because they only did 3 films. I'm probably gonna have to say. Now I'm probably gonna have to say John Kramer because they're still putting out films in the Saw series.
But no one's wearing Saw t-shirts, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like
no,
Leslie
but they're still making movies. But
that zeitgeist of entering the pantheon, like there are t-shirts, there's crafts.
I think the difference is like with Saw. I mean, Saw is a little passe at this point. I mean, yes, I know they had a comeback, but I don't know. I feel like in the early 2000s that might have been more popular, but now with Art the Clown, yes, you'll see t-shirts, you'll see people dressing up as him, whereas I don't think that's true of Saw. This is an icon, it's a horror icon, whereas Jigsaw I don't feel is like as iconic.
No, because he's just a regular guy.
Right,
He doesn't have
exactly.
there's nothing really physical about him that sticks out. So, I mean, if you want to go that route, then we could just go back to Ghostface. Ghostface would probably be the last one, because I don't see anybody dressing up like Victor Crowley either.
No,
So
no.
I would probably say Ghostface. If we're gonna go think like this, then I would say Ghostface. Regardless,
Now-
this generation of horror films needs this. They need this Art the Clown. Because horror thrives on its icons, the
Yep.
Universal monsters, the German Expressionism films from the 1920s, the Val Lewton films of the 1940s, the sci-fi big bug films of the 50s, zombies in the 60s, and vampires in the 60s. Then things start getting heavy in the 70s with chainsaw killers and killer sharks and things like that. Then in the 80s, then late 70s, then you get the slasher, and then the 80s to the early 90s is just loaded with slashers. Then it takes a little tumble for a little while, and now for the past 25 years or so, it's been nothing but zombies and first person perspective films and found footage. So, but we need that icon in today's world, and Art is the first icon of this generation.
Yeah.
And let's hope we get a couple more going so we can get some interest going, and not just keep it Art the Clown, because otherwise that's going to start getting stale, and it's going to get stale quick, especially when you figure that David Howard Thornton has been playing Art the Clown for since 2007, I think. Am I wrong?
Oh, he didn't. I don't think
He's
he
the
was the
second
original.
Art the Clown.
Yeah, I don't think he was the original in All Hallows Eve.
He wasn't the original.
No.
He's been in the three.
He's been in the films. Not he wasn't in All Hallows
before
Eve.
Art.
Yep.
Yeah. He was not the original.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you could throw in Candyman and the Leprechaun.
Nah.
Well, you don't have to have.
But
you don't have to have. It doesn't have to be David Howard Thornton playing Art the Clown. You could have multiple people playing Art the Clown. That's irrelevant.
Sure.
It's the character itself, not the actor playing it.
Right. Yeah. Mike Gianelli played Art the Clown in All Hallows Eve.
Hey, Mike Gianelli.
Hey.
Hey.
He's not pissed off at all.
Me.
Who knows? Maybe he turned it down. I don't know.
Original. Yeah, I'm sure he's loving that. He's fucking loving life right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he must be kicking himself hard right now.
He's like fucking.
God.
He's like the Terrence Howard of horror. Ah, fuck.
The terror.
I had to ask for more money on the front end. I don't know his story.
But I'm happy for the entire Terrifier, everybody involved with Terrifier. I'm just so happy for everybody. And don't forget, and you may have forgotten, I should say, me. I'm the one who saw the promise in Terrifier, because I'm the one who put it in my top 13. I did. Me. I
So
did. Okay?
MZ's taking all the credit for her doing well at the box office. Where's your cut, MZ?
Where's my cut? I could, because I sure could use it. Let me see where I put it. I did put it in my top 13.
Are you saying you rocket strapped Terrifier?
He did.
Yes, I did.
I can look.
I'm,
I can look it up too.
No,
MZ. You got it.
I got it right here.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think I am? Some sort of Yutz?
Raven Shadow would like. Yeah, no, I don't think you're Yutz. Raven Shadow had no fucking idea though.
2018 films, Terrifier, number 12.
12, huh? Well,
yeah. See?
Did you put Terrifier 2 on any list?
No, because I wasn't here when you reviewed it.
Oh, but you've seen it now, right?
Oh, I have seen it.
Okay,
and it is a journey. It is 2.5 hours. It is a long time, but you fill up that time kind of nicely. You know, it's not like too much time is spent twiddling your thumbs, but I think it's a better fire. But I'm anxious to see what they're going to do, what they're doing in part 3. A lot of people have seen it so far, and a lot of people are talking about the shower scene. There's a shower scene in Terrifier 3 that everyone is talking about, and I'm like,
that's the big pop.
Oh shit, yeah.
I've seen Chris Jericho on AEW has bragged about being in the #1 movie in America.
Oh, is he really? Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Oh, for crying out loud! Well, yeah, he was in.
He was in 2.
Shit,
he's in 3.
He was in 2, and he's in part 3.
Yeah. Well, he was also in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back reboot,
true.
where he played a Klansman.
Well, it's actually not too far from the truth.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No,
no.
It's not.
Well, okay.
Not too far.
His
not
wife.
Too far from the truth.
His wife was at the J6 insurrection.
Yep, and that's
he has said things that make me believe, or make others believe, that he is very much in favor of her beliefs.
Yeah, but I don't believe he's a racist, brother. I don't.
I don't think so either. But if you vote for fucking shitbag, you are complicit in racism. You're okay with it.
Yep, and that's a significant struggle for me. Yes.
So Undertaker, the McMahons, Hogan, yeah, fucking Hogan, like.
Yes.
Like, I mean, we're just talking about wrestlers. There's lots of other people, but like they are complicit in being okay with racism, whether they are outwardly racist themselves or not.
And rape.
His Taker's best friend is the Godfather. That's a shoot. That's a legit shoot. His best friend is fucking Godfather. Godfather is the one that got Taker to get tattoos and to fucking start riding a bike. Because Godfather was doing that. Godfather was into fucking.
Did Godfather get him Trump on his podcast?
And that's what fucking sucks. Like, fuck you, Taker, man. What the fuck, dog? But
he's a biker from Texas. What do you expect?
Yeah, but dude, though, but being a biker is not. My dad's a biker, and despite the heat that we have together, he fucking knows Trump's a fucking douchebag. You know, like. I think there are some smart people from Texas, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Fuck you. But you know what? I'll tell you right now, Taylor Swift has more fans than fucking Taker, more fans than fucking Jericho, more fans than fucking comedian with a mustache.
This is very true.
The other comedian with a fucking bad mullet. Than anybody. Like, the only 2 fan bases I feel that can make an impact is Taylor Swift and Juggalos.
No way.
Anybody else?
Juggalos? Come on.
If their fan base is considered a fucking gang, they have
sure,
some
but
cred.
But they are like they pale in comparison to Taylor Swift's to Swifties.
Yeah. No. But I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say is no. But I'm putting Taylor Swift over. But like, I would say Taylor Swift and ICP have more fans that will spend their money on their shit than Taker, than any singular professional wrestler.
You're putting Taylor Swift over, yes, but look who you're putting her over with.
I wish our Patreon was considered a gang.
For crying out loud,
dude! No! Stop your internal monologue. What I'm saying,
it's not internal. It's outward. It's external.
Stop your external gimmick. What I'm saying is, in terms of a fan base that will spend money. You understand what I'm saying to you?
No, I understand what you're saying, but do you think there's any? What
I'm trying to tell you is that Taker is a fucking has-been, and no one's buying his fucking merch. There are still people that will go to Hot Topic and buy ICP merch. But more importantly, those people are buying Taylor Swift's merch. So if fucking Taker wants to turn heel and be a dick and have this orange cunt on the show, well, fuck you, Taker. Thanks for the memories, but go fuck yourself. You ain't moving the needle, dog, because no one gives a fuck about your fucking ancient ass.
He's going to get really mad
Am I wrong?
when he hears this, because he definitely listens to the show.
Oh, yeah. But I'm not trying to put. You understand? Like, there are things I don't like, but I don't like the Yankees. Do they do merch? Yeah, they fucking do.
Yeah, but
You
they're
understand
more
the difference?
relevant. Yeah, but they're
You
more
understand the
relevant.
difference?
Yeah, but they're more relevant now than ICP ever was.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think the thing we're getting
How much
hung up
are
on
those
is
shows fucking
ICP
selling out?
is not like
Well, it was
not
a
even
joke,
the
but
same
he's trying to
stratosphere.
fucking do a gimmick. Okay.
No, we're not doing a gimmick. We're telling you
I'm
why.
making a point where a fan base.
All right, you got to
Taker doesn't have a fucking fan
You got to
base.
pipe down. You got to pipe down. The I think the comparison though is Trump, and people will spend the money that would be for groceries on his fucking grifty fucking cheap ass shit. And that I think that's the comparison. Like it's Taylor Swift, and then there's fucking magats. So
Right.
Yeah, like there's gonna be enough politics in fucking November. Like we're either gonna have like an end of the world show or a fucking celebration that first weekend in November. So we'll see what happens with that.
It's really fucking me up. I'm just, it really bothers me.
Let me just read
Everybody else.
Let me read some other comments. Stabby on screen says, I think art brings a humor element we haven't had since Freddy. I mean, kind of, but art doesn't speak. So that's Raven Shadow's problem. He's not a clown. He's a mime, right? Raven Shadow?
I would think so.
So, I mean, yes, it is physical humor. But I think I get what Anthony's saying. But I think Freddy, for me anyway, for my money anyways, was the one-liners where you come to sort of count on them. Evil Corny says MZ's cat just scared the hell out of me. That was like 10 minutes ago. Apparently your cat did something to scare Corny. Stabby on screen also says, I couldn't agree more, MZ. A generational killer that reflects the times. And he says Leprechaun's coming up a little short in that criteria. Let's see. Evil Corny says, okay, MZ got Terrifier. Let's see how his prediction of Aaron Pierre goes. What was your prediction? Aaron Pierre was the star of Rebel Ridge. You're muted, I think. Did you mute yourself, or did my fucking thing pop out again? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I want him to be a star.
All right, there.
And he should be a star. As a matter of fact, he's going to be, he just signed on to do something with
Green Lantern.
Some comic book. Yeah, Green Lantern.
Yeah, you must have seen that, Raven Shadow, because I think Rocky sent it to you when he was in the running, but he did get picked to play Jon Stewart.
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna be great.
Yeah,
and he actually has fucking Green Lantern eyes, which is crazy.
He does, yeah. Stabby on screen says, I think this is of Jericho. He met his wife at that clan meeting. Evil Corny says, I wonder if those robes were tight. And then he says, well, Mel Gibson is friends with Danny Glover, but he still did some racist shit.
Yeah.
And then Stabby on screen says, Big Baby Sweets 2028. And Evil Corny says, quit letting your think pop out, Wolfie. Oh, I think you mean thing. Quit letting your thing pop out, Wolfie. Yeah, my thing popped out. Sorry.
Let's see what else is going on. Well, there's something else. The Fangoria Chainsaw Awards were last weekend, and Best Kill. I don't know if you guys saw this. Best Kill went to In a Violent Nature.
Oh, it had to have been the yoga one, right?
Yeah, that's the one that won it. Yeah, and best film was Godzilla. Godzilla Year One. Minus
zero.
1, Year One.
Or minus zero, minus one. I was thinking of Monster Zero.
That'd be awesome.
Godzilla minus one. Evil Dead Rise took a lot of awards. I'm like, no. It
Wait,
shouldn't.
did you say Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah.
Was that last year? Like,
Yeah.
what was
it goes. It's a calendar year thing, not January to December, but like August to August or July to July.
Okay.
Well,
It seemed like that was 2 years ago, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Anything else interesting from that MC?
Yeah.
And David Dalmatian won best performance.
Dastalmachian, I think is how you say it. But
Dalmatian.
But yeah,
or however you say it.
For Late Night with the Devil, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Okay, what were you going to say, Raven Show?
MZ, I'd like you to speak on the Ed Wood thing you posted earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
I
Severin.
had no idea about that.
Yes. Well, Ed Wood, to make ends meet, this was after his time working with Tor Johnson and Bela Lugosi. He needed to make ends meet because he wasn't getting hired to do full theatrical productions anymore. So he went to go shooting 8mm porn films, stag reels, loops. And that's what this DVD set or Blu-ray set is going to be all about. The hardcore sex films of Ed Wood.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I want to pick this up. This looks like it could be a winner.
Could be a wiener. Could be a winner for your wiener.
I mean, he did have a pretty good porn name from the jump.
Who, MZ?
Well, true, but I was thinking about Ed Wood.
Ed Wood. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Fakak.
Yeah.
Fakakta?
Yeah.
He had one of those Fakakta names.
What's funny is I don't know if you guys ever watched the Goldbergs, that TV show. But anyways, George Segal or Segal, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Rest in peace. But he played Pops on that. He was like grandfather, and he used to say that all the time. He would say, the fakakta thing or whatever. In the show, that was like one of his favorite things to say, and I laugh every time because I think of MZ doing Larry Fine.
It's awesome.
It's weird. I haven't seen too many episodes of the Goldbergs. It sounds like a show that's right up my alley. I just never.
It's funny. I'd never seen it at all. And then Tanya was looking for like an 80s sort of sort of nostalgia show, and that one came up, and it is. I mean, it's actually I really dig it. We're on the 9th season. I think it was just one more. So we've been watching it for like the last few months. Jeez. But they reference a lot of 80s movies and things like that. So yeah, I think it's worth a watch. And also I can't remember her name now. She plays the mom, Beverly Goldberg.
Yeah.
She was from Reno 911.
Reno 911.
Yeah. Wendy.
The blonde.
Wendy McClendon Covey.
Yeah.
The one with the voluptuous.
Yeah, she was
blonde.
The blonde in Reno 911, but she's fucking awesome.
Zipper was down low, right?
Yeah. But she's fucking awesome in it. She's hilarious. So, was she also part of? I can't remember. Was she also part of the Viva Variety, or did she just join them for Reno 911?
Well, the short-haired girl was in the State and Viva Variety.
Yes. We're talking about the blonde, Wendy McClendon Covey. But
yeah, I was thinking about the one with the bigger chest, or the skinny awkward one.
Right, we're talking about the blonde.
The blonde.
Yeah, that's the only one we've been talking about. You're the only one talking about the other one.
God, what is going on here?
So yeah, it looks like. So yeah, she was not in that. The first thing that she was in with them was Reno 911 Miami.
Yeah.
And then did the show. So, yeah, she's been in a bunch of
strangely
stuff.
enough, if you want to talk about the little bit of trivia, the short-haired woman that's on that show,
Mhm.
she has a small, tiny, like 2-second shot in Trauma Films' Terra Firma.
I'm trying to think of.
Well, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of her name. The actress that you're referring to. I can't believe I forgot her name. I'm looking her up right now.
I was going to say, if
Oh,
there was only a machine that we could.
Carrie Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a small little shot of her where she gets an eyeball plunged down her cleavage in Terra Firma.
Oh, that's funny.
You'd never guess it was her because she has longer hair in this.
Oh, okay. And also, by the way, I forgot Deputy Jones. He is the black cop from Reno 911, played by Cedric Yarbrough. He's also in the Goldbergs. He plays Murray's coworker. So he shows up every now and then, not in every episode, but he's pretty fucking hilarious.
He's awesome.
I love that whole fucking cast. Joe Trulio,
Yes.
Thomas Lennon, Robert Ben Garant. Just that whole that core group of like Viva Variety in the state. Just so good.
Yeah. Joe Trulio. Oh, he was funny.
Yeah. And also, obviously he did Brooklyn Nine-Nine and he was fucking awesome in that.
It's great.
Yes, he was.
Fantastic.
And Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh yeah, of course. He's done so
That
many
whole
good
crew.
things. Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
And he also directed, you guys remember he directed that movie we did last year or 2 years ago? Oh my god, I'm forgetting the fucking name of it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Outpost, that was it.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
wife starred in it. That was the one in the woods where the woman was like manned an outpost and she was alone and she kind of went a little crazy. It was almost like The Shining in the woods.
Knife fight at the end.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So
Going back to
good.
the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, Steven Scarlatta was even nominated.
Yeah, boy.
Nice.
Yeah, for Sharksploitation.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Didn't win it though for best documentary. Didn't win it, but that's okay. It's nice just to be nominated.
Mm.
Yeah, he's it's so funny. He's I guess he's going to be he's been the bridesmaid like all these times where he almost made the short list for an Oscar. You guys remember that, right? For Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah.
He was shortlisted for the nomination for best documentary, and then he just unfortunately didn't make the cut. But man, like that's pretty fucking outstanding for him to have that. And then obviously with the Chainsaw Awards are cool, so for Sharksploitation to get nominated, it's great.
And he's so humble. He's so awesome.
Yeah,
like I do
he's the
listen
best.
to
Best movies never made.
Best movies never
Yep.
made. And truly, my only complaint about that show is it needs to have more Steven Scarlatta. Like I wish he would talk more. Like they have some great guests, but I don't even want the guests. I want Steven and his co-host to talk more.
Steven? Let's see what else we got. Let me check the chats. Corny accidentally sent a message that was intended for Rocky.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, he
I
says
love you.
he says they aren't talking about Niecy Nash either. Raven Shadow. That was the actress from Reno 911 as well.
Yeah. Well, she's been in a lot of other things too.
Oh, she's
Yes,
great.
she's
Yeah,
great, yeah.
She's everywhere now.
She was on a show on FX about like hairstylists, I think.
Yeah, I saw one where she was like always done up in bling, and
Yeah.
somehow it's like her and her friends are like I don't know what they're doing, but they're making a lot of money doing it. I don't know what they're doing, but and she had her own talk show, I think, and
yeah, she's hot. I like her. She's like she beat me up though, probably.
Why? Would you give her a reason to?
Yeah.
No,
Not
but
because you'd let her though.
No, sooner or later I rub everyone the wrong way.
Oh man! All right, we should probably wrap this up because I want to start talking about this flick. You guys have anything else?
Not really.
All right. So, well, it is Cocktober, and it's a good opportunity for us to talk about our latest Patreon exclusive episode, where we talk all about Cocktober. If you don't know what Cocktober is, you're just missing out, man. So. Yeah. Check it out, patreon.trickortreatradio.com. We talk about the double standard of nudity in Hollywood, and we even name some of our favorite fearless performances by DSOs, as Raven Shadow would call them.
Thank you.
So if you want to check that out, I would love to get some thoughts on Cocktober and see what people think. We had some good discussion about the double standard. Actually, the double standard actually took up most of the episode, and then we were like, oh, we better name some films because we said we're gonna.
And we better like fucking talk about some actual dicks.
Yeah, talk about some crumb or some long bum or what is. Yep. You get your statement ready.
Long bum was flowing. Yeah, yeah.
So, so check it out. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. We got the new October exclusive episode out, and it is available for you to listen to via podcast, or if you're in the Slayer or above tier, you have access to the video podcast as well. And if you want to get in that highest tier, the Terminator tier, then you can get your own Patreon takeover. And we actually have we're playing catch up still. We're gonna have 2 Patreon takeovers next month.
What?
Yep. In November we have 2 Patreon takeovers. So looking forward to those, and can't wait to see what flicks we get to talk about with some awesome folks. So check it out, patreon.trickortreatradio.com. All right.
And to be fair, Corny upped the gangster with the pictures. His past Patreon, that was dope.
It's true.
Too.
Yeah, Corny had a really good double feature. Absolutely. All right. Now, if you guys want to help support the show, there are a few ways you can do so. You can head on over to trickortreatradio.com, and there you can go to the main page, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo. You click on it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. And we get this just a tiny little cut. That's it. We get like a small percentage, and it goes into the coffers, and it helps pay for all of this, all that you see and hear.
All the pageantry.
All the pageantry, yes. So any and all support is appreciated. If you use the Amazon, it doesn't cost them any extra when they click on that link, Michael Raven Shadow.
Fucking ain't right, but it's another way to help keep the lights on.
There you go. And finally, on trickortreatradio.com, you can click on store. It's going to bring you to our digital storefront. There we have the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. It is a sampler of the early years. If you have not been with us for 12 plus, all 12 plus years, we don't blame you if you aren't, because that's a lot of fucking ear damage. I don't know. That's a lot. But we don't blame you. But if you do want to check out some of the early stuff ever, you can go check out those greatest hits. $3 a pop. And you get a nice curated sampling of those early years. So all the highlights, lowlights, midlights, everything in between, the songs, the arguments, all that good stuff. So give it a look, give it a listen, and consider supporting. And we appreciate any and all support that you guys can give. All right, Michael Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch the latest Hellboy flick, Hellboy, the Crooked Man. What do you do to prepare for this movie?
I get excited, Johnny, because Mary and I, we dropped $40 to get full-size candy bars.
$40?
Right? Yeah, right? What the fuck?
Wait, you go to a theater? Because those aren't
yeah.
those aren't fucking those aren't like convenience store prices.
No, apparently she went on Amazon.
Wait. You're talking about Halloween candy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you bought like 2 candy bars and it was $40. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. It was a really big Milky Way wolf.
Okay.
It was like this big. Yeah. In preparation for Halloween, we're gonna go the full size route. Again, like we mentioned earlier. Yeah. You know, like the old meme. It's like, oh, my mom loves full size. Some joke. It was like, oh, I'm fucking it up. But yeah, so we spent $40 to get the full size candy bars, and they came in, and man was trying to hide them on me.
Good. You can't have those.
I was gonna get them because
your dentist would be mad at you.
Yeah, well, you know, when the fucking
you could lie. It's okay.
Yeah. But how I figured it out was she put a full cardboard box in the trash. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this fucking here?
Yeah, why didn't you break it down and and recycle?
That's right. Well, fucking recycling, but just hide it from me. Like, you could have put it downstairs, and then I wouldn't have seen it, but I saw it. Now I got to question things. So she hid it, and I have a giant, like, you'd like it for your little kid program. I have a Star Wars tin.
Kid program.
It's
not. I mean, obviously you've never listened to it because it's not a kid program.
Well, I used to listen to it. No. But you guys you like Star Wars, but I have a Star Wars thing where it has every movie, the poster art in the bedroom.
The poster art, the clown.
Poster art. Yeah, poster art, the clown. And we hid it in there. So yeah, I told her I wouldn't eat it. I'm like, where's the fucking candy bars? And I promised her I wouldn't eat it. So
where's all the candy bars? How's that ad go, MZ? I'm something from Mars. Robolon from Mars.
I'm Robolon from Mars, and I eat all kinds of
candy bars.
But what is this? Some earth fruit? It is good. It is better than good. It is yummy and not bad. Well, wait till I tell the other Martians about this. By only eating candy bars, we don't know what we miss.
Robolar from Mars. That's awesome. Go ahead, Rage Shadow. I just had to do that.
Oh, I had some earth fruit. So yeah, so only one time did I open up and I stole a Musketeer bar, and then I taped it back up. So I get excited with doing Hellboy. That's fun. That's the 4th installment of the franchise. So you better believe I took my devil horn and my right hand of doom. Ha ha! And I strapped on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, the bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibans. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers.
Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a camouflage. And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Octopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week, we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Octopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab from octopus.buzzsprout.com.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Do you say a bouquet of dildos?
And we are back. After radio. It was dead air. I had to take a leak and then talk to Tanya real quick.
Not on our end. We were loving each other up.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was a great show.
Lathering each other up. Let's do that show.
It was flowing.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell folks what were you saying?
The love was flowing.
Oh yeah. Nice. I'm getting lubed up.
Let's see. Corny says, "Shit, I'm gonna stop by Ravenshaw's house this year. I'll be the one dressed like a bad motherfucker."
Yeah, boy.
All right. So it's time to talk about a movie. And for the film discussion, let me see. Just open up a cold one here.
Yeah, look at you popping tops.
Oh, seltzer action.
Oh, little Brian Seltzer.
Little Wegmans.
Wegmans.
What do we got here? Wegmans dragon fruit berry. So it's the official drink.
Party animal.
It's the official drink of the Trick or Treat Radio film discussion.
Yeah,
You
fried
party animal.
dragonberry.
Fried dragonberry. Let's see here. All right, let's talk about our film this week. And the film is Hellboy, the Crooked Man from 2024, rated R, and it is 99 minutes. And it's so weird. Like, IMDb now, like, they used to have, like the genres. It used to just list, like, really basic ones. But now I think they allowed users to add their own subgenres to it. And so the first one is found footage horror. What the fuck?
Wait,
what?
Nope.
Yeah, like I have the ability to edit, and I'm gonna fucking edit that out because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's not correct.
Fucking idiots.
Oh God.
You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. Can I do this? Let me see. Can I do this? Because that's fucking dumb.
Like, it makes more sense that the Hong Kong invented snowboarding than that.
Right, exactly. I don't even know if I can. Can I edit it? Yeah, I'll look at it later. I don't know if I can edit that. Anyways, it's a horror. I'd say just horror. There's a little bit of action, but horror, and it's based on obviously the comic book of Hellboy. And it is directed by Brian Taylor. And Brian Taylor, we talked about it last week, but he's directed a few films that one film that we've talked about, Mom and Dad.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he did the Mom and Dad, and he also did, we talked about this a little bit, the TV series Happy. He did 18 episodes. I don't know if that's the whole run or just a bunch.
Also based on a comic book.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, he wrote 18 episodes. Sorry, he directed 9. So he did direct quite a few, but he also directed Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance.
Hey, everyone's gonna pay a mortgage.
That was the second one, or the first one?
Yeah, I never saw it. No, that was the second one. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he also did the film Gamer from 2009, and also Crank and Crank High Voltage.
I was literally talking to somebody about Crank 2 the other day. About
Electric Crankaloo.
Electric Crankaloo, yeah. Where literally, like, basically it's speed in your body.
Yeah.
And Jason Statham falls to his death in the first one and somehow survives the fall and gets, jumper cabled alive again. Yeah, I think it actually was jumper cables that brought him back to life to keep the party going in part 2. And just so you know, out there, any screenwriters out there, you're working too damn hard.
Yeah, no shit, right? All right. So yeah, directed by Brian Taylor and is written by Christopher Golden, Mike Mignola, and Brian Taylor. Shit. So we got some comic royalty there. Mike Mignola is the fucking creator of Hellboy. He created the fucking character, and he's one of the, I think, most iconic artists working in comics today. He's got such a distinct style, and he is a really fucking amazing artist and writer too. But I think his art just really fucking stands out. And Christopher Golden, comic book writer, longtime comic book writer, who's written novels and also some film scripts now.
Legend. Actually, the Maroon got to meet Christopher Golden out in Northampton years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was during when Marvel Knights first came out, and Kevin Smith and all the creators were out in the Words and Pictures Museum.
Still never went.
Story. And his was funny. Still didn't either because when we went out there, we forgot how big of a college town Northampton was. And this was like 1998, 99. Dogma may have just be on the verge of coming out. And we didn't take into account how crowded it would be. So they capped the line eventually. And then as we were leaving, Chris Golden was coming out. And I think he had met Tron actually on a cruise. It's a whole fucking different story. but he's like, "Oh, Joe, Tron, you're leaving."
Well, Joey Tron.
Like,
I mean,
yeah. He knew, recognized Joey Tron, former NCW champion, and he actually signed, I think, me and Double D's Punisher comics, because he wrote the Punisher Angel Marvel Knight series with the great Bernie Wrightson artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Bernie Wrightson might have been there too. God damn it.
Oh man.
But his callback, we actually had left and didn't go to the after party.
Did you go to Moyna's?
No,
I'm
we
just
had
kidding.
tickets for ICP.
That's a callback. That's
At
funny.
the Palladium in 1997, and the Funk Junkies opened up.
Is that? I think that's the show that MZ didn't go to.
It could have been, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cast. We have Jack Kessie as Hellboy, Jefferson White, Adeline Rudolph, Leah McNamara, Suzanne Burdish, Joseph Marcel, Martin Bassendale, Hannah Margetson, and that's the main players. The synopsis of this flick: Hellboy and a rookie BPRD agent in the 1950s are sent to the Appalachians, where they discover a remote community dominated by witches and led by the sinister local demon, the Crooked Man.
Yep.
All right, so this is, as Raven Shadow mentioned, the fourth film in the fourth cinematic Hellboy film, and they're not continuations. Like, we had the first two, which took place in different times. We had just Hellboy, and then we had the Golden Army, which the Golden Army to me is a fucking masterpiece. I love that movie so much.
It's great.
But I guess Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, wasn't too crazy about it because it veered too far from what he wanted to do, which understandable. I totally get it. But Guillermo del Toro made an amazing film.
It was the equivalent of Tim Burton's, Batman, and maybe more importantly, Batman Returns, where Batman Returns is not a Batman movie; it's a Tim Burton movie with Batman.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. MZ, did you see the Golden Army?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Okay, cool. Did you enjoy that one?
I remember liking it.
Yeah, I really dig that one. And then obviously we had the one that Neil Marshall directed, starring David Harbour, that came out about 2 years ago, I believe it was.
Longer than that. That came out while we were still in the studio.
Okay, 2019. You're right. Yeah. Okay, so 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. It had Mila Jovovich played Nimue. Ian McShane. Yeah, it had a good cast.
Oh, wow.
So I just remember, like, there was a lot of really cool stuff in that, but it just was too much.
I remember liking it, though.
That's fine. You can like it. I'm okay with that.
It's okay. It's all right.
I just thought it was to quote MZ. I thought it was 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. They tried to squeeze too much. And I'm not saying the movie's shit. I'm just saying, like, I'm using MZ's fucking quote. They just tried to fit too much into that movie, and it just became too bloated. And the movie wasn't able to contain the story they wanted to tell. But David Harbour was a good Hellboy. And I thought he was like kind of a continuation of Ron Perlman, yeah. So I was cool with that. I wouldn't mind seeing them return, but now we have a new Hellboy, and played by what was the name? Jack Kessie.
Jack Kessie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all right, well let's dive in and do a first impression now. I'm trying to think if I should go with Raven Shadow, who is the comic book aficionado, or MZ, who is not. Let's start with Raven Shadow. What was your first impression of this?
My first impression was really, because this came under the radar. Like,
it totally did. It just came out.
like I know the days of Wizard Magazine, Comic Scene, Starlog, and Fangoria is still a thing, but
It wasn't,
and
though, for a
and
while.
it's
So, yeah.
fair. But for this to drop, and I guess it called to mind to me 3 characters that I'm very surprised have gotten the big pushes they've gotten. One is Swamp Thing, who's had 2 movies, 2 live action TV series, and a cartoon and an action figure line. Another character is the Toxic Avenger, who's had at least 4 movies, potentially one that may never get released,
It'll get
a
released.
cartoon series. It will eventually.
Yeah.
A cartoon series and a comic book and action figure line. And then Hellboy, who's had 4 movies, comic book, some action figures, and an animated film. And I wonder, is Hellboy one of the biggest non-Marvel and DC properties?
I mean, it's got to be up there.
You know,
on first
it has
glance,
to be, right?
Yeah, upon first glance, I mean, how many other characters have had 4 films? And yeah, like you said, like animated films and
for Hellboy in 25 years, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot for a mid-card character, and that's not a slight.
No.
I am a big Mignola. I love Mignola. Cosmic Odyssey, fucking Gotham by Gaslight, Amazing Screw on Head. Like the dude's dope. Fa or the Gray Mauser or whatever the fuck. It's old school fucking deep dive. And I like Hellboy. I'm not the biggest Hellboy mark, but I like him. I really enjoyed the crossover he had with Batman and Jack Knight Starman.
Yeah, Starman, yeah.
Which I
That
know
was a
you
good
had
one.
that, Wolf.
Yeah, I like that.
So, and I have a couple trades, and I do have an action figure. So I'm always interested. And truly from the jump, I think Hellboy would be served as a really dope either Shudder or some streaming network 6 to 13 episode TV series, because I think the character doesn't have a complete through line, right? Like I do have his first appearance in John Byrne's Next Men back in the Dizzle. But I mean, I think he was found by Allied soldiers around World War II. So, I mean, he can fit between 1950s and modern day. And his stories are more like anthologies, where he'll take like folklore and play with it. It's like supernatural, the show, monster hunting, whatever the fuck. But you could always throw him into various worlds. And it plays itself for single serving tales. And I think that's what's kind of cool about the character.
Okay. Thank you for that history. What was your first impression of the movie, though?
Was like my first impression was they made another one? Question mark. Okay.
What do you think of the fucking movie?
They
made another one?
I gave my first impression.
No, you didn't. You gave us a history.
Yeah.
You gave us crib notes on the history of Hellboy.
You did not say anything about the movie.
I feel that was my first impression, was that I thought about Hellboy and I thought about my relationship with him. And I was like, I feel like whatever answer I'm giving is wrong. I feel like I'm married again.
That's on you, man. When you're asked the question and you don't answer it, and then you get mad at us for calling you out on that, that's on you.
No, I'm not mad at Monster Zero.
Oh, you mad at me?
No.
Who are you mad at?
It's society.
I got problems, Wolfie. I got problems.
I want to.
No,
what did you think
like,
when you watched this movie and you turned it off or the credits are rolling? What was going through your head? What did you think?
No, No, now am I doing the are we Q and Buster? I'm not sure what the answer is. I was like, hey,
Holy
it's a
fuck.
it's a lower
How long
budget.
have we been doing this?
I feel I'm doing the same shtick, but you're throwing.
Corny says, bless Raven Shadow's heart.
I know what that means, Corny.
Yeah, it means you don't know what the fuck this is what we're doing on this show.
No, it means go fuck myself.
I want to know did this movie live up to expectations? Was there anything cool that happened? Did you like the fucking writing? Did you like the performances? First impression, like before we dive into the fucking meat and potatoes of it.
I feel this is a fucking trick question because if I give,
my god, you're fucking you didn't watch the movie then. This is one of those. This is one of those. This is one of those like what's it called when you fucking just talk. Someone asks you a question in politics.
Oh, filibuster.
Filibuster. Yeah, thank you. You're fucking filibustering because you don't have anything poignant to say or anything relevant to say about the movie.
That's my alias for hotel rooms is Phil Abuster.
Or anything to say at all, for that matter, about the movie.
No, I was surprised. So okay, so at the two big budget New Line pictures and a lower budget movie with kind of an indie darling, maybe with David Harbour, I was very surprised that this is even a less. And he's fucking doing his head thing. You see what he's doing, Wolfie? I see what he's doing. It was a bare bones, stripped down take. It was almost like an acoustic version of Hellboy.
Thank you. MZ, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a biting commentary.
Like, I just don't understand how you even get dressed by yourself.
I put my pants on 3 legs at a time, dog.
Well, of course, I had absolutely no idea this was coming out. I don't keep up with this sort of thing. Comic books aren't my thing, and that's already one strike against it. I'm just not a comic book guy, but I do like Hellboy and the Golden Army because those were just fantastically made by a competent director, I might add. A highly competent director. Let's see. But as I'm watching this, and about maybe 10 minutes in, I'm really feeling regret. A very heavy feeling of regret was just lowering on me. And by about the 40-minute mark, I had to shut it off. I just had to shut it off. I figured I'll just watch the rest of it later. Because what I was watching, I could not believe. It does feel cheap. It's a watered down version, like Raven Shadow said. Whether it has to do with budgetary reasons or the talent that's in front of the crew as well as behind, I don't know what it was. Maybe a combination of everything. But this was agonizing to sit through.
Wow.
Agonizing. It was just pure torture. I could barely handle it. Like I said, I had to shut it off and just like, dude, I was questioning whether or not I even wanted to watch the rest of it. That's how bad it was. And I've never done that ever. I looked up a couple of things, and what's his name? Jack. What's his name?
Jack Kesey.
Kesey. Because I'm looking at him, and I'm like, he looks so small in size. He doesn't have that bulk that David Harbour has, that Ron Perlman has. And I'm thinking, Jesus, this guy just. He looks like the Wish version of Hellboy, but a more accurate version coming from Wish. And I'm looking things up, and it turns out Ron Perlman is only 6 feet tall. The other two, David Harbour and this guy, they're at least 6'1". So I'm thinking, okay, so then what the hell is the problem?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, what the hell is the problem? Because I always thought Ron Perlman was like 6'2", 6'3", you know?
Right.
He just looks like that kind of guy. But I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. It feels all wrong, you know? And I don't know really anything about Hellboy. I'm just judging this film in comparison with the other 3 films that we saw. And this is by far the weakest of the bunch. It just feels rushed. It feels under budgeted. It feels like there was too low of a budget. No name actors, 0, which I guess is okay, you know, but you got to have the talent in those non-actors in order to pull the shit off, because the acting here was really bad. Really hackneyed stuff. But I don't want to give away too much. I think I've already said enough as it is.
Yeah, well, I think we know which direction MZ's going.
Yeah, I want to spread the hate evenly, you know.
All right. So for me, yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer because I was kind of curious to see what they were kind of promoting this as. And, you know, for me, it felt like Raven Shadow said Unplugged. This is like a stripped down, low budget Hellboy, which in one sense I think could work, you know, because I think, you know, even through the comic, and you don't need to be a fan of the comic to understand this. I'm not familiar with the Crooked Man story from Hellboy, so I'm not familiar with the source material on this one. I've read a lot of Hellboy stuff, but this wasn't one of them. So you don't need to have seen it.
Same here. I have not read that story.
Yeah. So it is sort of like Hellboy Unplugged, stripped down, lower budget. And I think the story they told supported that fairly well. You know, I think it was a much less epic story than some of the others. Like, literally, the last one with David Harbour, they were traveling all over the fucking globe. Like, I think they hit every fucking, you know, continent at least twice. It's what it seemed like. They were all over the fucking place. And, you know, obviously in the Guillermo del Toro ones, there's, you know, like crazy sets and, you know, really amazing visual effects and monster effects. So this one, with seeing a stripped down version, I was actually kind of excited to see what they could do with it. Because to me, Hellboy, while I think it definitely does well with the big budget treatment, I think you could almost pull off a more successful Hellboy story as like an indie horror movie. You know, because that's kind of the vibe I get from some of the stories. You know, especially when you see like, you know, if there's like cosmic Lovecraftian creatures, you know, things like that. So, you know, I thought that this would have, you know, been something that they could pull off. And I think what we get here, it's interesting because at the very beginning, they're on a train and they're transporting some cargo, a spider. And then the movie basically unfolds. I mean, it's not shot in real time or anything like that, but, you know, like the movie unfolds over like what seems like the course of like, you know, 117 minutes. Like, I'm sure it was, you know, it just felt like a day in the life of Hellboy, you know, kind of, that's kind of the vibe I got from it, day and night. You know, so to me, I like that it sort of was this little snapshot into one of the missions of Hellboy. Yep. And I'm not familiar with the character of Bobby Joe. Do you know if that's a character you've ever read, Raven Shadow, in any of the books?
To my knowledge, no. And that was a little bit of, I think, at least I know MZ probably only knows from the films. And I think what the beauty what Guillermo del Toro did was bring in the BRPD. BPRD. I'm sorry, you're right. The BPRD, the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Development.
Yep.
Which essentially they're like the shield of supernatural shit.
Yep.
you know, it was a agency. I'm not sure exactly where they were affiliated, but they had operatives. You had your Abe Sapien. You had your, was it Liz? Was the girl with the flame? And there were a bunch of other characters. This is a very stripped down version of that. And if you didn't know Hellboy's what he was a part of, this movie didn't answer those questions.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, so I don't know if Bobby Joe was a character that's in the comics. I'm not familiar.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I actually liked that character. I thought it was a good sort of like the audience's eyes, right? Like we got to see things from her perspective as she's kind of learning. And I thought some of the characters were really pretty cool. Like I actually liked the character of Tom, like the sort of like backwoods Appalachian kid. I thought he was pretty likable, and I actually really dug his character. And then the different sort of the women in his life, I guess. There was Cora. They were like screaming her name later. Yeah. I liked Cora, and I liked that introduction that we get to see of her skin just kind of laying there on the bed. It was kind of interesting. And also I thought I think this is definitely maybe one of the weaker villains in a Hellboy film.
Yeah.
Not a big the Crooked Man is cool. Like I like the character, and I think he looked mostly good in this, but there was a lot of lore. I think there's just a lot that you don't know about the character from watching this movie. You might have to know the lore or more about the Crooked Man to really understand. But in essence, to me, it seemed like the devil, but not really. Like it was almost like he collects souls, but so I don't know. It was a little ambiguous. I wish that was fleshed out a little bit more. But otherwise I thought it was cool. I liked his powers, and I liked how he was able to be sort of like an adversary for Hellboy, a threat, like a legit threat. And I really liked Effie, the character of Effie. She was the blonde who was with the Crooked Man, the villain.
Yeah.
What? You
Oh
didn't
shit!
like that,
Oh,
MZ?
MZ's pissed.
What are you pissed about?
Oh, god damn. She was just.
Are you thinking knockoff? Are you thinking Evil Dead on Wish?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm thinking just a two-dimensional character that was just. It comes down to acting, and the acting in this movie is horrid. It's terrible.
I don't think. I mean,
I don't think so.
Okay, that's whatever. That MZ thinks it's terrible. I'm not going to argue with him about that. But I didn't think it was terrible. I thought Jack Kesey was the worst of the Hellboys. That's not, I mean, fucking Ron Perlman and David Harbour. I mean,
that's a tough act to follow.
It is a tough act to follow, and I feel like he just wasn't charismatic enough. Now, granted, this is a younger Hellboy than the other films.
Yep.
This is earlier in his career, so maybe he wasn't quite as quippy or whatever. But I just didn't get that sense of charisma like oozing off the screen like I did with those other guys. And
he just seemed very downtrodden, and I mean, I guess with good reason, considering his life and his existence and his reason for being. But just the words that came out of his mouth there was just no excitement. There was nothing. It was just just blah, just there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that Jack Kesey, he looked the part. He looked good. I thought he looked good. I just thought that there was a lack of charisma, and that could have been that maybe they were trying to reel him in a little bit and make him a little less quippy or a little, just less larger than life. But I agree with you, MZ. he didn't feel larger than life in this. Like, I understand that Hellboy is, he's not a giant. He is bigger than a human.
Right.
But there are ways to make actors look bigger. Like, I mean, they did it with fucking Ian McKellen, right? In as Gandalf.
Right.
Next to the Hobbits. Like, he looked like he was like 3 times as tall as the Hobbits. So you can do this. I just feel like the way they shot it, like Hellboy he just didn't feel as much of a threat in this one as he has in the other films.
Yeah, I mean, he barely uses his right hand of doom.
Yes.
He barely used. What did he do? He used it to crush a bug, and that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of writing is that? I mean, you got this massive hand that he could probably jack off the Jolly Green Giant with, and he barely uses it.
Jeez. So I think that he looked good, but I feel like the way Hellboy was shot just didn't have that feel of this larger than life character.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I'm talking about. Maybe Jack Kesey has the charisma to play the character. I'm certainly not talking about his acting ability necessarily. I just feel like the way Hellboy was portrayed and presented just didn't live up to what I would expect for that character.
Well, also the environment around him didn't exactly help. I mean, he's surrounded by a bunch of hillbillies.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, I don't know. It's not fine because look at what he was able to do in the first film as well as the Golden Army, and look at the film that he did when David Harbour played him. I mean, interesting environments, interesting characters, interesting situations that everybody was put in that made the films exciting. Maybe, I mean, I definitely love the first two. The David Harbour one, it was okay, not the greatest thing I ever saw. This, you're talking about a bunch of bumpkins from the 1950s. I mean, where's the excitement in that?
Well, it's not supposed to be. I mean, go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. And just the delivery of their lines, I practically needed closed captioning.
Yes.
To follow what they were saying, because it was just so southern wangy drawl, and it was
very
just
mumblecore.
Annoying. Yeah, it was so hard to understand.
Oh, it wasn't mumblecore. No. Like,
I don't know, dude.
I had no trouble understanding any of what they're saying. I definitely wouldn't call it mumblecore. But
well,
what?
No, I'm just laughing.
Oh, okay. Just random bouts of laughter.
Yeah.
Don't die.
It's gonna be. Believe me, it's probably gonna be the last time I laugh today. So.
Ever? Wow. Jeez.
Oh, But go ahead, Wolf. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I mean, and there were some things that definitely felt silly. He fought a spider and then he fought a snake, and both times landed on his ass in a weird way. I like that. Almost reminded me of the comic, because I do remember seeing how Hellboy fights a lot of different things. So I did get a feel for it, but it just looked too silly. And the CGI, I know MZ, you're gonna have a fucking field day. The CGI was terrible in this.
Oh my god!
That spider, the spider in the train, I thought it looked okay, but then once it was out in the woods and in the light, that should have been at night if they wanted to mask it better. But during the day, it just did not look good, and it really kind of set a bad tone to start.
Yeah, that did not help at all. The CGI was. I could have made better CGI using an Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, that's how bad it was. It was terrible. The scene with the spider, and I'll agree with Wolfie here. It had to stay night scene, and even in nighttime, it just didn't even look, or not nighttime, but in the dark area because they were in the train. There's no light there, so even then, it still didn't look good because you could see that he's banging, they're banging each other in the train, around in the train, and you could see like dents happening outside the train that looks so computer generated. It's painful. This is the visual effects for this is sci-fi 1998. It's 2024, for Christ's sake. It's got to be better than this. If this is the case, then their budget had to have been really, really low. I don't know how much it was, but it had to have been pretty low, because even sci-fi doesn't have visual effects like this. The CGI was really, really bad. The scene with the snake, I mean, oh my God. Writhing around that girl and then going into her mouth, it just looks so terrible.
That was an interesting Ouroboros, though. Instead of the snake eating its tail, it was like going in her mouth and out another part of her body and then back in her mouth.
I wasn't sure about the through line with that.
Yeah.
And I will say, though, however, what I thought was good was the makeup effects. I thought the makeup effects for Hellboy was done very well.
Yes. Yes.
I will say that.
And that's a big thing. Like I thought Hellboy looked great.
He did look good, except for that, what I was saying about the presentation. He didn't feel larger than life or charismatic.
Yeah. Agreed, but even down to I'm not doing a bit, but like they had him smoking a lot.
Yeah.
And
you must love that.
I did.
I want a cigarette.
I was watching my bedroom too, and I'm like, I don't smoke upstairs. But it didn't look soft, and it's very hard to smoke with gloves on. So I thought the look of it in the right hand of he looked great. I think all the money they had was on screen, which wasn't a lot.
Not a lot, yeah, agreed.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But I think we saw all of what they had. And I think they did what they could with what they had. I think it's all fair to say that they wanted to probably do more.
Yeah.
But that's what they got.
So all that said, some of the things, some of the issues, something worth mentioning, MZ, or?
Yeah. I just looked up the budget for this film. Who wants to take a guess?
10 million.
Higher.
20 million.
20.
Really?
That movie was worth $20 million. They got fucking ripped off. The people who fund the companies that funded this got ripped off.
Shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if a good percentage of that went to Mignola.
I don't know. He had a part in making it, so I don't know. It's not like, he had to give the rights to use his character. He helped make the movie, so not saying you're not right. I just don't,
He's producer.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that is definitely more than I thought. This looks like a $5 million movie, but with inflation and everything, I thought, okay, maybe it's like 10, but yeah, 20 is like, ugh.
Yeah, they're not seeing that back. They're not getting that back.
What I will say, and just, I definitely, I'm not going to shit all over the movie. I had some issues with it. However, I think the story was pretty cool. Like, it had a creep factor that I think has been missing from Hellboy, because in almost every single Hellboy story that I've read, there is some existential dread or some like creeping sort of like evil. And I feel like this had that with like the way they shot the forest, the Appalachian mountains and forest, I thought was really good. So I liked the setting. I liked the story for the most part, and I like the atmosphere. And I think that those things, I think it made for an interesting watch. And, you know, I think that they had definitely some positives going on here. But, you know, that was sort of like, you know, if you weigh it out, like the positives and the negatives, what wins out? But overall, I thought it looked really good for the most part, aside from the CGI. I thought the film looked good. There's some really great scenes, especially at the end in the church. I thought there was some like well shot. Some of the stuff in the sewers, I thought, even, you know, dark, like they filmed that fairly well. It wasn't so dark that it's like, what the fuck? I can't see a damn thing. So
the grave scenes,
yeah,
the digging.
Yeah, and I like I like the part about the priest, like when he sort of like was getting these gifts handed to him, so to speak. I'm trying to be vague, and he's like, I don't want them, you know. Like, I thought that was kind of a cool thing. The Crooked Man, I think he looked okay. He almost looked like a big leprechaun at times.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yep. Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm the crooked man.
I'm the crooked con. I'm the crooked con.
I'm the leprechaun. Hey, knock it off, eh?
You're scaring me, man.
You're freaking me out.
You're freaking me out, man.
Now I had also the scenes in the church. I thought they were shot way too dark. There had to have been some sort of established light source in there somewhere, because they were just, you know, there's action going on there, but everything is just too dark. You know, it's like, you know, you want to establish that it's dark in there, yes, but you got to make it light enough for people to see what's going on. You know, and they just didn't do that. As far as other things are concerned, there were many times where they used, like, I don't know what you would call it, but like a fog or a haze surrounding the perimeter of the frame, and that is just a cheap sci-fi movie of the week visual effect to indicate some kind of magic or some kind of a time speed going on, or something of a magical situation going on. That's the only time that you would use that, and they used that a lot. There were times where things would happen so fast that the camera can't catch it, and by the time it's caught up, it's become a CGI effect. And that really takes me out of it, especially if it's done poorly. And it was really done bad here. You know, I'm trying to think of something positive to say about this film, because, I mean, there's always something positive to say. And like I said, the makeup effects were good. There were moments where I thought the score was very good. Not the entire score, but there was some parts of the score which sounded like that gave like a folk horror vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you know, that really caught my attention. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Well, you know, if I can't enjoy watching the film, I can at least enjoy listening to it. But you know, that didn't last very long. And but there are other areas of the score which are pretty good too. So I'm not going to poo-poo on the whole thing.
Well, earlier, MZ, you said you had to turn it off. Like you almost couldn't take anymore. When you resumed it, did you still feel the same way as you were watching it, or did you become a little bit more interested in what was going on?
I forced myself to become a little bit more interested in it. I shut it off during the when things were going down in the church. That's when I shut it off.
Okay.
And I just had to like do something to contain myself, because I was about ready to lose it. And then when I got back, you know, I watched the rest of it, and I'm like, you know, I'm looking at it with a much clearer head at this point, but I'm still not liking what I'm seeing because it just looks so cheap. Hellboy is better than this, you know. much better and deserves to be better. Now, the only thing that has going for, as far as I'm concerned, with where superheroes are concerned, is that it's not aligned with either DC or Marvel. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. I was reading something. What about DC and Marvel?
Hellboy's not aligned with either one of them, right?
No, it's Dark Horse Comics. He's creator owned, right? Doesn't Mike Mignola retain the rights, Raven Shadow? With Dark Horse,
That's why, I mean, he did do a Batman crossover, but
Right,
it's
he
under
controls.
the Dark Horse imprint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that explains why he's not dressed up in spandex pretending to be a policeman. You know, and being controlled by some glowing thing. You know, he's from the pits of hell, and that's good enough for me. You know, he's got his horn shaved off. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
And that was a great line he made a line about shaving off your demons, something like that. Like, 'cause he does file off his horns. But remember too, just because it's a comic book doesn't mean it's capes and tights. Like, you know, I mean, you could do a version of a predator that was hired by a government agency, like not like Epstein, but like gets the chopper predator. You know what I mean? Alien type shit. You could do, like, Hellboy is a horror character that became a government agent and doesn't want to be a horror.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he hates his life. He hates his
likes,
because they showed that in the film.
He loves cats and pancakes.
Yeah.
Which they didn't show at all in this film. You think they would have touched on that, but they didn't.
And that's the thing. You wouldn't know that backstory. You wouldn't know any of that. If this is more in the Mignola vision, that's great. But I think also what Guillermo del Toro did was bring those other elements. I think Guillermo del Toro's version was a more overall encapsulation of the character for all the high spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think as we've gone away from him, you've seen less of that. Somewhere there's a great version of Hellboy. And to me, I think it's in a ongoing 6 to 12 episode series.
Yeah. I think like a
And this movie
prestige.
truly seems like a proof of concept.
Yeah, I think like a prestige series, you know, like you said, like 8 to 12 episodes, I would say, where we get multiple monsters. Like, you know, like it was cool seeing the Crooked Man, but I would say it would be even cooler if we got to see like a Monster of the Week with this, whereas it builds to a greater story and there's a main villain or something, like someone out to get Hellboy or something. So something like that, I think, would have been more. It would be interesting for sure. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate that they did that. They tried to do something like this. You know, like I appreciate that they did a lower budget to see if that would work.
Yeah.
And I think there is a lot of redeeming qualities to it, but there's also some that detract from it. You know. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
I mean, like, so once again, there's been 4 Hellboy films in 25 years. Overall, if this is the least good, I don't know. Maybe I should save it, but sometimes comic writers or writers in general of novels and books, film is a different medium. And vice versa. You know, I've read works of like J.J. Abrams tried to write a Spider-Man book. And it was fine. You know what I mean? But like, you're not always compatible with the various mediums. And I don't know if a comic writer or a writer is right for a film. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like maybe
Well, I mean,
they're too close to the source material, so kind of like when Peter Blatty directed Exorcist 3. And people hated it, but over time people began to love it as they should have. So maybe it's just like they're too close to the source material. They're so close to it they don't even realize the little mistakes that they might be making.
Well, yes, I mean that definitely is a thing. You need to have checks and balances for that sort of thing. But I think being too close to source material doesn't mean you make a bad film. I think it's that person should be involved if at all possible. In this case, I'm glad Mike Mignola was involved, and I mean he knows the character better than anyone. He fucking created it, Right. So I appreciate that he was involved in this. It'd be interesting to see what he thinks of it, if it came out the way that he wanted to. I think that there is a lot of, like I said, I think there's a lot of good here. And I think, like you said, Raven Shadow, this would make for a really interesting prestige series, like something on I don't know, Max or Netflix or whatever,
Right.
And you don't even need a huge budget, just you probably could fucking do it with $20 million, honestly. Like I don't even know where that budget went. Maybe Adeline Rudolph.
Killer craft services.
Maybe Adeline Rudolph, maybe she can just pack it down. Maybe she can eat a lot. I don't know. But anyways, just about her, I was looking up because I thought I'd seen her in something, and it turns out I don't think I've seen her in anything. However, she is going to be in Mortal Kombat 2. They had the one that came out a couple years ago. She's in the sequel.
Max? Oh,
yeah, she plays Katana, that's a huge get for her. That's awesome. And she was in, I never saw it, but the Resident Evil TV series.
I didn't see it.
She was in Riverdale. Did you watch that, Raven Shadow?
I've always hated Archie.
Okay.
I know it's a weird.
The Archies.
thing,
The Archies.
Yeah. I like my favorite Street Gang is the Archies.
And she was also in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen, but I know there's a big following of that. So, but good for her. I thought she was good. I thought she was actually one of the best things in this movie. I thought her character was really endearing. And I liked the sort of the character growth that was shown in that character.
And I like the juxtaposition of Hellboy's form in the woods.
Yep.
His red.
Yeah, as opposed to like being in the
coat.
city or whatever.
Yeah, the gun. I could truly see this being something that had a bigger scope and then budget you had to adapt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't shame anybody involved in this picture.
Good, you shouldn't. That'd be mean.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah, but no, I just don't think that they fucking tried.
Wow. She's also
Ollie's not putting up with it either.
Yeah, beat a dick.
She's also, Adeline Rudolph is going to be in a horror movie called Do Not Enter. I don't know anything about that, but Javier Botet is in it, and Javier Botet has played like creatures. Is like the Doug Jones, like of this era. I think he's getting a lot more sort of like creature work than Doug Jones is now. But he was in The Mummy. He played. Actually, no, wait. Oh, speaking of the Crooked Man, he played the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2. That's what it was. And he played one of the demons in 30 Coins. You guys remember that TV series we watched 2 episodes of for a Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that.
That was dope.
Oh, he also played Dracula in The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Your favorite.
My favorite, yep. So he's played a lot of creatures, but he's going to be in that movie as well. So, all All right. Well, I think we could probably wrap this up. So let me get over to the audio. All right. So we will go to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Hellboy the Crooked Man was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts. Let's start with MZ.
You know, I really hate to think about how this might affect kids.
What?
And let me explain, okay? Because I can't imagine being the parent of a kid who watches this stuff and think it's great. You know, imagine you're a parent. You come home from a hard day's work. You know, you come home from a hard day's work. You're achy. You're tired. You're hungry, and you know. And
sounds like you. And you're not even a parent.
I would come home aching. I'm tired. I'm hungry, and my kid would come up to me, and I go, you know, and he would say, "Daddy, Daddy, guess what I want to be when I grow up?" And I say, "What is it, son?" You know, I would call him son. I'd say, "Well, what is it, son?" He goes, and he says, "I want to be Superman." Go fuck yourself, kid. Okay?
What?
And then jump in front of a moving bus when you're done fucking yourself.
What the fuck? What is going on?
Piss me off.
Yeah, but this is not Superman. This is Hellboy. What?
Yeah, my point is that these comic book movies are just ridiculous. Even when they're well made, they're ridiculous. This is not a well made movie, and it was beyond torture for me. I had to shut the goddamn thing off. I had to recompose myself. I was going crazy. It was agonizing sitting through this thing.
He had to decompose himself.
That probably would have helped. And this is a big time trick for me. I couldn't stand putting up with this. And let me say this, Wolfie, if you end up, you know, you haven't given a trick at all this year. If you give this a treat, I swear I will go over there and punch you in the face.
I might do. You might have just swayed my opinion. I want to see you fucking try that.
That could be either or. So that doesn't tell me anything. But this everything about this movie, with the exception of the makeup, which was good, and some of the music, which was good, the camera work, the acting, the CGI, Jesus Christ, the script, the location, everything about this just got under my skin. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't hack it. I wanted to kill myself. This is a treat. Trick. This is a
treat. I wanted to kill myself. Treat.
This is a big trick for me.
Oh God.
And Mike Mignola. Is it Mick Nola or Mignola?
Mig.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'm scared.
Okay. He you know, he created Hellboy. He deserves better than this, and I think the fans of Hellboy deserve better than this. This was rotten.
All right, Raven Shadow.
All right. Well, I don't share the disdain that MZ has expelled. You know, listen. Here's the thing. There's been 4 Hellboy movies in 25 years. This one works the least for me. I will say it's better than Batman or Robin. It's better than Superman 4. It's better than episode 1 through 3 for me. Now, you know what I mean? There's been one Green Lantern movie, and that character's been around since 1940, whatever the fuck. But I actually didn't, for what it was, I didn't mind the CGI, and I get it. I hear you. But for what it was and the budget they had, did somebody maybe take a little bit off the top? Sure. But I mean, same way I can look at Manborg and appreciate for what it is. It's not an apples to apples comparison, 100%. But I don't think this was offensive to a true blue Hellboy fan. It might be unsuccessful, but there's nothing going to make you stand up and yell, "What the fuck?" like I did when Robin yelled "Cowabunga" in Batman and Robin, in that fucking Metachlorian line, in episode 1. Again, I think this more is a proof of concept. This movie could have been 15 minutes of this picture could have been cut. There was some drag moments in this picture for like it's what, hour and a half, maybe an hour and 39-minute runtime. I'm not sure. It could have been cut. I thought they tried. Is it the least charismatic Hellboy? Yeah. But it was fine. Tepid treat
right.
for me.
All right. Well, let's see if MZ is going to hop in his car and head down here to Maryland. For me, like I said, I had some issues with this. Hellboy looked good. I feel like he wasn't captured on screen in a way that was befitting of like the larger than life feel of the character. Even in the comics, you get like he's just like he's like the life of the party. He is like the biggest fucking dude in the room. Like I don't know, like that should be captured on screen, and I didn't get that here. Also, the CGI. I mean, I totally understand that. If you don't have a lot of money, you're going to get shit in CGI, like, that's just the way it is. And I understand having the spider fight. Like, I thought that it was a cool idea. But you really got to understand your limitations. And if that's the opening of your movie, like, I think you're setting people up to be let down, because for me, that's kind of how I felt was looking at it. Like, oh man, like this looks so bad. This looks like, I think you said MZ, like, like early 2000s CGI or something, or late 90s. Like, I mean, that's when it started, was late 90s. So, but it seemed like early CGI era CGI. So to have a couple of big scenes with that, I think they just should have cut it down. Did a rubber fucking monster even, like, or something like that, or like do something, or just, what, like, let's not have it be a spider, let's have it be something else. So right. But regardless, I thought overall, I think they managed to sort of save things by having an interesting story, having good atmosphere, and I liked having Hellboy in a horror film. This was like, more horror than action. I wouldn't say it was necessarily scary, but it had all the makings of a horror movie. But I just feel like the Crooked Man ultimately wasn't all that interesting in this. But I did like the connection that he had with both Hellboy and Tom, the character of Tom Farrell. And I liked a lot of the weird sort of like bit characters that showed up in this. So overall, yeah, I actually think I prefer this to the David Harbour Hellboy. Wow. I just that one just did not work for me. Like There's just too much going on. Like, I will take a small story that not a lot happens over something that's just like jet setting all around and is just trying to pump too much shit into it. You know, I'd rather have a story that makes sense and a story that you can follow. So, yeah, I think I like this one a little bit more overall for the story. I think there's definitely some things that were done better in the Neil Marshall, David Harbour one. But yeah, this is one, like, I might want to watch this again down the road and just see how I feel about it, like, outside of a film discussion and getting some distance between having watched it and, you know, and then checking it out again. But yeah, I will say also tepid treat. So MZ, hop in your car.
Do you guys think
I'm heading over there right now?
Yeah, right.
I'll see you in a few hours.
Yeah, more like fucking 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours.
Do you guys think that fans would be more receptive if Ron Perlman could get one more time for old time's sake?
I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with different actors playing Hellboy because he was awesome as Hellboy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also fine with other actors playing the character, especially because Hellboy, you know, like he was in the 40s and 50s, and you know, all the way up to modern day. So you can do a lot with them and have different actors play. So I'm not really. Yeah, it would be cool, but I'm not like pining for it. I'm like, oh my god, like I gotta see Ron Perlman as Hellboy one more time. Because I feel like both David Harbour and even Jack Kessie, to a lesser degree, embodied that character. They look like that character. And when I'm watching it, I'm not thinking, damn, I wish Ron Perlman was in this. Because it's the character. You know, it's Hellboy. But in this, like I said, he just didn't have that larger-than-life feel, which I think he should have. So, but I did like a lot of the like sort of the folklore, and I actually kind of dug the sort of chapter markers, like the witch balls and like the bone, and you know, I think that there's like you know, I thought that there was some interesting ideas in this. I think it could have been pulled off a little bit better, but overall, I enjoyed seeing Hellboy in this way. You know, just in a different sort of light, in a lower budget kind of indie horror movie. So. Yeah, I think for fans of Hellboy, I mean, you got to watch it. If you love Hellboy, you got to watch it. But if you hadn't seen the other films, or if you don't have like fond feelings of the other films, like I think you can probably skip it. But if you want to see some kind of weird, creepy Appalachian witches, you know, and the Crooked Man, then you know maybe there's something there for you. So. All right, well, there you go. That is our discussion of Hellboy, The Crooked Man. It is available on VOD if you guys want to check it out. Now, next week, I am excited for this one because, let's see, next week we are going to be doing a film that's on Netflix. Just popped up today, actually. I would have done that movie this week, but I don't think we would have wanted to watch... I don't think all of us would have wanted to watch the movie on the day that we discuss it, Raven Channel. But so for next week, we are going to be doing the new film from Timo Tjahjanto. I think is how you say his name. And it is called The Shadow Strays.
Oh, shit.
And it just popped up onto Netflix today, like I said. And just warning, Raven Shadow, 2 hours, 24 minutes.
The fuck?
And let me read in his own words. Let me just find where I had. So I had a tweet, saw a tweet of his. And so he says, for a lot of you, The Shadow Strays will be out today. For some tomorrow. I think, you know, he was just talking about the different time changes. When he posted this, he says, thank you for your willingness in spending 144 minutes of your life for the film. It's a film that's dear to my heart, a personal challenge for me to make a hardcore action tale utilizing a new breed of younger talent who has no background in the action cinema. In this case, all cast I feel delivered in spades, including I won't say he mentions character names, but they won't mean anything to us. So he also goes on to say it's also a love letter for the cinema of John Woo, Takashi Miike, and Luc Besson. To some extent, the scummy, desperate world of Abel Ferreira.
Such a brother.
So, Woo,
Okay. All right.
Miike, Besson, and Ferreira.
Wow.
Treat.
Then he says,
Wow.
and he goes on to see your viewing means a great deal for not only me, but the prevailing proof that there's an audience for a movie such as this one. I hope to make more of these and excited to see how far I can push it further. Close the curtains, crank up the volume, and happy watching.
I'm going to do that.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to name, like, that's almost sort of like a fucking Mount Rushmore, right?
It kind of is.
Of dirty cinema. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore of dirty cinema. Yeah.
Mount Rushmore of dirty cinema.
Especially Abel Ferreira.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, 9 Lives, the Wet Pussy. Right? That's a fucking thing.
The Dirty Mount
That's a
Rushmore.
great fucking album title. Right? Yeah.
The Dirty Mount Rushmore? Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be that's our album title, Raven Shadow. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. We all fucking love Timo. I mean, I don't think he's done anything that we haven't liked. Granted, there's varying degrees. Like, I still don't know if anything's going to touch The Night Comes for Us.
Oh my fucking God! Right?
Did you, Raven Shadow? Did you ever do that at Samurai Night?
Oh, I think some of the boys had seen it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, what more do you gotta do after that? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's
such
yeah.
a
The Night Comes for Us was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
That was wild.
We probably won't see the type of choreography because, like you said, these are young actors who didn't have previous experience. They learned previous to filming, whereas The Night Comes for Us has some of the best action, like martial artists working in cinema with Iko and Joe Taslim and Julia Stell. Just goes on and let's see. There's a few others. I can't remember. I don't want to butcher any names, but but that one was, oh man, that's still one of the best movie experiences that we've had on this show, I think. That fucking movie. Yeah. So man, I love Timo and anything he does. I mean, the last thing we did The Big Four, 2022. So I don't know if you saw that, MZ, because I think that was the year you're out. It's sort of like was it like a comedy action? Wasn't it, Raven Shadow? The Big Four. Do you remember it?
I'm trying to remember it. Yeah.
It was like that. There was, I think someone was trying to save like a family hotel or something like that. I'm trying to remember the fucking man, let me see.
I don't remember.
It says a by the book detective investigates the death of her father and follows a clue to a remote tropical island only to find out his true identity as a leader of a group of assassins. Now hunted by his enemies, she has to team up with the crooks her father had trained, 4 retired down on their luck assassins itching to get back in the game.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a crew. And there was one guy who was like a total like fuck up, who was like
a crazy fucking
yeah. It was fun. So it was it's more of a kind of like action comedy, MZ. I think you'd still like it. It's Timo. It's not Night Comes for Us.
Timo Ganj.
Yeah. But he also did some segments on VHS, on the VHS series. Obviously, he did what I feel is the best one, Safe Haven, and I think MZ would agree, right?
It was good.
And he also did one on VHS 94 entitled The Subject, which was like a first-person sort of like, like there's like a, if I remember correctly, like a sort of like crazy doctor who brings someone back to life and they have like a camera in their head or something like that.
Okay, yes.
And he did May the Devil Take You, May the Devil Take You 2, Headshot, Killers. Yeah. So Timo's the fucking man. I can't wait to see this. So we're going to check out The Shadow Strays, and it is available on Netflix. So give it a look and come back and tell us what you think. If you dig the flick or have thoughts, feel free to send a voice message. You can send it to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. I really want to find out how to say his fucking name. It looks like Chajanto.
Well, you know what you do? You go on YouTube and you put in whatever his name is, interview. And sooner or later, they're going to say his name.
You know what's funny? I did. This is back when we did one of his other films. I don't remember which one. And someone asked him how to say his name. And he's like, don't even bother. I'm not even going to bother telling you. He said, you probably get it wrong. So just call me Timo. And I was like, what the fuck? I want to know how to say it. So kind of funny.
Wow. When even he knows it's a long goddamn last name.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be something to it.
Let me see if there's a pronunciation. How to pronounce. Here, how do you say it? Let's see what this says. This is like how to pronounce the pronunciation dictionary.
Timo
I'll try one more time.
Chayanto.
Chayanto.
Timo Chayanto.
Chayanto.
Timo Chayanto.
You think that's right?
Is that his full name or just his last name?
Oh,
because it sounds like it says Timo Chayanto or something like
yeah,
that.
Chayanto.
Timo Chayanto.
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 So
Well, that's easy to say.
Maybe that's it. I'll probably forget it next week.
That sounds too easy to say for him to say, nah, you'll get it wrong. That sounds too easy.
Let me try one more. Let's see. This is it's a different first name. It's Hadi, but it's got the same last name. So let's see if it's the same.
Hadi Cahyanto.
Chayanto. Yep.
Hadi Cahyanto.
All right.
Hadi Chayanto. Okay.
So I was saying like Chajanto, but I think it's Chayanto. So there you go. We'll see if I remember it. All right, cool. So we're going to be doing that next week, The Shadow Strays. All right, so let's see. I don't know if we have any voice messages. We didn't earlier.
Clear.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, wait. No, Corny did. Yeah, that's right. He sent it earlier in the week. That's why I almost forgot.
Oh, shit.
He sent it on like Friday, I think. All right, cool. Let's see what Corny has to say here. Corny Chayanto. All right. Sorry, I'm still downloading it, and I got to place it in the right folder. Really exciting stuff for everybody to know.
Control Alt Delete.
All right, here we go. Here is Corny. Let's hear from the man.
Nice.
Hey guys, I want to give Hellboy, the Crooked Man, a treat. I saw this film a couple days ago and really liked it for what it is. It reminds me of like a Hellboy one shot. I noticed a story that's I guess it might be a trade or whatever, but I haven't read it to my knowledge. But like I said, it just reminds me of a one-shot issue of a Hellboy comic. I'm glad that I've talked to Michael Ravenshadow about this. That characters like John Constantine and Hellboy and Batman to a certain extent. I always kind of thought that they could have made like lower budget films with those characters, and you could still have bigger films with them, but it's kind of nice having this one. Just the basics. You didn't have I guess it's the BRPD or whatever involved in this at a higher scale. You know, didn't have a bunch of agents running around. To me, those films were a little bit too Men in Blackish, even though I enjoyed the first two Hellboy movies, and the third one was just okay with David Harbour, but I really like this one just for it's just being a simple, you know, Hellboy on an adventure type story. Yeah, but you all have a good one. Evil Corny out, and I'm probably saying this like a whole week before this show, but you'll have a good one later.
All right, Corny. Yeah. Go ahead, Vernon Show. What?
I'm with that. It's my boy, dog.
It's your boy dog? So he's a dog that's a boy?
No, he's my boy.
Dog.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, glad you dug it, Corny. And yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what Corny said. We're on the same page about this being better than the Neil Marshall one, unfortunately. But yeah, glad you dug it. And I appreciate you sending the voice message earlier. That's why it almost screwed me up. I was like, wait a second. There it is. All right, cool. So that is it for voice messages. Anything else? You guys got anything?
Not really.
MZ's fucking like beyond excited that he's going to get out of here at 11:15.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
All right, well that's going to do it. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we will be doing a Devil's Night show, and that will be on Devil's Night. It'll be on Wednesday, October 30th. And I'm not sure of the time yet. We'll probably do the same time. I'm guessing 8. That show is usually a little bit shorter. We don't do a film discussion. I think it's lately been about 2.5 hours. But in essence, it's our extra special Halloween special, but we now do it on Devil's Night. So we stream it live, we record it, and I think there's some cool things that are being discussed. Hopefully something a little bit different. Something maybe we haven't done before. But yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to that, and we'll announce some more next week. And there are definitely ways that you can participate in that show. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you have additional options for participation. We're just trying to nail out the details, and then I will sort of get them out there so that you guys can participate. So it should be fun, and looking forward to that. So we will be live 2 nights in a row that week, the week of Halloween. It'll be Wednesday, October 30th, and then we'll be doing the regular show on Thursday, Halloween on October 31st. So are you going to be able to pass it all? Yeah, you will have passed it all your candy before we do the show, Raven Shadow, right? All the big candy bars?
Yeah, they do the gimmick in my town.
It's not a gimmick.
It is.
No.
It is. But no, they have a certain time frame. So Marion's going to be over. I'm trying to get out of work early. But yeah, it's from 5 to 7. So ideally, it'll be before the show. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I feel you're staring at me like a dog.
I'm not even looking at you.
Card trick. Look at me. Look at me.
No.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, that's.
But Marion's gonna help. Marion's gonna help.
Cool. So that'll be that, and we'll give you guys all the details next week, if not this week during like on social media or in Discord. So go check out the new Patreon episode. Cocktober is coming.
Cocktober's not till mañana.
Yeah, where it's come and gone. I don't know. All right, well, let's say goodbye, starting with MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
All right, well, that is going to do it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. and listening to the podcast. And next week, as I mentioned, we'll be doing The Shadow Strays, the latest film from Timo Tchahanto. I think Tchahanto. So we'll be doing that next week. Can't wait. And we'd love to hear from some folks because Timo really usually brings it. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys next week. So everyone have a good week, and we'll see you then.